Former basketball star Dennis Rodman is, of course, back in the news for his unthinkable behavior in an interview with CNN regarding Kenneth Bay, who is being held. One news report said he has been sentenced to 15 years in a North Korean prison. He's already been held for 1 year. Dennis Rodman was asked whether or not he was going to approach Kim Jong-un on behalf of our dear brother in Christ, and this was Dennis Rodman's response.
Will you take the opportunity?
Watch this. The one thing about politics, Kenneth Bay did one thing. If you understand, I got it. If you understand what Kenneth Bay did,
yeah.
Do you understand what he did?
What did he do? You
in
tell
this
me.
Country.
You tell me. What did he do?
No. You tell me. You tell me. Why is he held captive?
They haven't released any charges. They haven't released. They haven't released any reason.
Let me do this. I would love to speak on this.
Go ahead.
You know, you got 10 guys here. 10 guys here that have left their families. Left their families to help this country as a sports venture. Got 10 guys, all these guys here. Do anyone understand that?
We do, and we appreciate that, and we wish them well with cultural exchange.
No. I'm just saying, no, I don't give a what I don't give a rat what you think. I'm saying to you, look at these guys here. Look at them.
Yeah, but Dennis, don't put it on them. Don't use them as an excuse for the behavior that you're putting on yourself.
They came here.
You just basically were saying that Kenneth Bay did something wrong. We don't even know what the charges are. Don't use these guys as a shield for you, Dennis.
Well, first of all, this is reprehensible behavior on his part, and you can see the anguish in the other players' faces. And after that interview, some of the players said, "We are out of here, Dennis. We're going home to our blank families." Well, Dennis Rodman had to issue an apology, and here's what he said. "I want to apologize. I take full responsibility for my actions. It had been a very stressful day. Some of my teammates were leaving because of pressure from their families and business associates. My dreams of basketball diplomacy was quickly falling apart." Evidently, they didn't have anyone edit that for him. "I had been drinking. It's not an excuse, but by the time the interview happened, I was upset. I was overwhelmed. It's not an excuse, it's just the truth. I'm very sorry. At this point, I should know better than to make political statements. I'm truly sorry." Well, I want to give you maybe a few lessons that we can learn from this, overarching lessons for all of us. Number one, expertise in one area does not translate to expertise in any other area. Now you might say, well, what expertise does Dennis Rodman have? He was a great basketball player. He really was. Playing alongside Michael Jordan, he was one of the best forwards that basketball had in that era. He was truly an all-star. That doesn't mean that he has intellect, ethics, the ability to reason, a grasp of the facts on the ground, or what's at stake for an innocent man like Kenneth Bay. And so when you or I watch television or read the news and we hear about a Hollywood actor making statements about some political situation, or a sports legend weighing in for a political situation, at that point, their expertise in one area, whether it's acting or sports or any other area, does not mean that they have a clue about the issue that they are now trying to influence. And at that point, you and I need to use discernment to determine where they're coming from ethically and politically. Lesson number two, human rights matter. We're Americans, and even though our Christian underpinnings are crumbling beneath us, we still, for the most part, as a republic, we believe that suffering innocent people deserve a voice. And we expect that if Dennis Rodman or anybody has an audience with a man like this, that they will bring up the innocent who are suffering at their hands. Number three, what Rodman did, and this is where the big backfire is he gave legitimacy to a man who is a murdering tyrant. This dictator recently had his own uncle, his own flesh and blood, brutally executed. This is a man who is determined to crush Christianity in North Korea and keep it out at all costs. So to go and play for him and to sing happy birthday to him and to bow to him, well, take it away from Kim Jong-un and put any other dictator's face in there. Stalin, Mao Zedong, Adolf Hitler, Pol Pot. Would you do it? I don't think so. Which leads to my final point, and that is that this may be a gift to Kenneth Bae. Because as of right now, because of Rodman's foolish antics, more people have heard about Kenneth Bae and his plight than ever heard about him before. And so you and I need to integrate that into our own lives. Bad things can happen to us. Foolish people can say foolish things about us. Things can happen to us that are beyond our control that at first blush are hurtful to us. But when we look back, we can actually see the hand of God. And it could well be that Dennis Rodman's idiocy was a great gift to Kenneth Bae. And so I want to encourage you now, go to your phone, call the number on your screen. That will get you through to both of your U.S. senators and your representative. Call your senators, call your House of Representative member, and ask that they write to the dictator of North Korea and to politely but firmly request the immediate release of our brother in Christ, Kenneth Bae.